some progress on the GT5000. I have some parts missing, but nothing major. All the stuff's still available, relatively inexpensive. A lot of here and there things that I guess got lost when the other guy was taking things apart. Mainly with the mower deck, the hanger brackets for the one part where the machine, where the deck articulates, and some worn out parts of the wheels, missing parts of the gauges for the adjustment gauge wheels and all that great stuff. I'm not sure what the point is of this thing. I'm kind of behind the times on a lot of things, but with this, I don't know what this is all about in the newer machines. It seems like all it does is takes attention off that idler spring and pulls, that lets the, I don't know, the belt go free and not drive the deck. I don't understand that. My neighbor just had his John Deere here to work on that has the same thing too, so I don't know what manufacturers want you to do with that. There's another thing that a lot of people don't know about Roper. They made two-cycle equipment too. Here's a pair of 3.7s with the Craftsman name, and one's a 78, the other one's a 79 model, pretty much identical. I think they made this kind of stuff up to the mid-80s. These particular models had a built-in chain sharpener, so there was a stone in there, and then you, however it says in the manual, you go through the process and sharpen every length, every blade with this thing. But what I read is very few of these remain that actually have a working sharpener, because they never worked right from the beginning. They were defective. So what they would actually do is, well, from what I read, I don't know, never heard anyone else personally tell me, but online they say you take it in for warranty repair, tell them it doesn't work, the sharpener, it doesn't work right, and they intentionally break it, they disable it, they snap off. I think both of these have the same thing. This one actually has a blank off plate on it, but this one has a snapped off piece inside where the stone would have went, and somehow they disable this, then they reimburse the customer somehow by giving them, I've heard, by gift certificates, they give them another saw or whatever to make up for it, because they were defective from the beginning. But these are pretty solid machines. These I think this is around 60 cc. Has decent power, doesn't rev very high. It's very old school, not many safety features, but it's solid and it's relatively lightweight for its size. They're pretty cool. I have these for basically aesthetics. I just have an appreciation because they're Roper and they're made well, and I like using them for everyday cutting. Not like I need more chainsaws, I have plenty of these things. And here's my idea for the muffler thing. This was an extra I had from, it was for a Briggs Twin, for actually the 84. It was going to go on the 84 GT18. This is in good shape, and this basically I hacked off the other, where the other inlet would have been for the other cylinder, and the outlet is wider than this. This is like about the same size as where the exhaust manifold. I wanted to use this exact exhaust manifold and not have to go through with getting all the parts to put the muffler down there. I wanted to use this setup, so made up a hanger type of deal with this strap and this metal. It's hard to see, you can't see it. Basically it's just a hook, a metal hook back there that I bent up and put on one of the frame bolts, and it's solid already. It's not bad. It's just once I get the clamp, I get a 1 3/8 clamp, exhaust clamp to put around that, this thing won't go anywhere. It'll be solid, it'll be drawn up against the frame. And I already tested it with the articulation of this wheel, and I should have just enough clearance where it won't be an issue. So it'll be much like the late 90s, early 2000s setup with this muffler, where they hung on the side, and it should work out. I don't have any connectors, these newer style connectors, and this engine had an old, one of the older style black connectors that was a 4 or 5 prong. So to adapt it to the tractor, I need to find a connector, and I found a pigtail on eBay off of Briggs, but the engine manufacturers are pretty much using the same connector, just arranging the wires different. And once I get that in, I'll be able to patch this up and then have the right connector to go into the wire harness. At this point it will start and run, and it's running very well. Doesn't shut off right away yet because I don't have the ignition kill hooked up, so it just shuts down a fuel solenoid and then it starves it. That's how that worked. It's actually a 48-inch deck. I thought it was a 54. That's what I said in the last video, but they are definitely two different animals. Here's something I really don't appreciate though about their recent products, is this damn leg chop off device here on their mower decks. I don't know why, who would want to put a gaping hole in a mower deck. I mean, it's obviously blatantly not a good design and kind of dangerous if you don't have any kind of chute, or if the chute breaks, or if something happens, something puts pressure on it. It's just so stupid. So I like the older decks a lot more because at least it gave you somewhat of, it covered the blade. I don't know. Actually, the one customer of mine who brings this stuff to me often, who cuts commercially, he's using, for a while, well, I just sold him my 89 GT, but before that he was using this this LT1000 with a 42-inch deck that had the same setup, same gaping hole in, and he was using it like that with no chute whatsoever. It would literally cover you with grass as you ran it, and all kinds of shit would fly up in your face. It was nasty. It's like Sears was saying, loss or misplacement of your cutting chute is punishable by amputation of your foot. Every day it has to rain. Every freaking day.